Board meeting of October 16th. I thought it already said that.
Okay, doubled up.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Taylor School District regularly scheduled board meeting of October 16th, 2024, where our mission statement is to educate, engage, and empower those we serve. And our vision statement is that we will be the innovative destination state district where all succeed. We are called to order at 7:10 PM. Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Thomas is not here. Mrs. Thomas?
Here.
Mrs. Shufelt?
Here.
Mr. Wright?
Here.
Ms. Black is here. Mr. Heath?
Here.
Okay, well, everyone, please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our good news today is concerning the Taylor High School homecoming. We have Mrs. Skopczynski and Mr. Simon.
Good evening. Thank you for having us tonight. Mr. Simons and I kind of wanted to come and highlight some of the wonderful things that went on at the homecoming this year. We had a very hugely successful homecoming. I think one of the best ones we've had in a long time. So I was really super pleased. You can probably go to the next slide. So we just put together some highlights. This was our girls that were on homecoming court this year. Alicia Sanchez, Sienna Watts, Sierra Murdoch, Emily Guzman, and Isabella Lee. And our boys consisted of Garrett Lunsford, Carson Murrow, Christian Bano, and Colvin Tasumi, and Theo Hayes. Here's a picture of them all together. At the assembly, we had a hugely successful assembly. The kids were extremely well behaved. Our freshmen even stayed in the bleachers to the very end and listened to the teachers. I want to thank my staff because they were up there right amongst the crowd, making sure that everybody was doing the right thing, and just super pleased. In years past, behavior has not always been best when we have 400 freshmen up in the bleachers up top. So this year's homecoming king and queen were Emily Guzman and Christian Bano. So that's a picture of them right there. Christian also had an amazing night in football that night, even though we didn't come out with the win we had hoped for, but all the kids played well. We had our parade. There's a picture of our CTE group. At the homecoming, we do not do floats, we do booths. And that's a picture of the junior class winning booths. This is the third year in a row for the junior class. So they really went all out, even having a bell and be our guest from Disney. And I can't remember what the lion's name is for right now. I don't know why. You guys are probably like, Beast. Yes. So we even had a Beauty and a Beast. So, and something unique we did this year, and you can see these two young ladies are smiling ear to ear. We had grand marshals, and this is the part of the beginning of our unified program. So we have Alana and Mega, and they were our two grand marshals. They got to ride in the parade. They got to walk out at halftime with the court. And there they are during the parade in their little convertible. And it was just an amazing experience. Even when we got to the dance, they both came to the dance and had just an amazing time. They were smiling from ear to ear the whole time. So the homecoming game, you can see our wonderful band director, Mr. Brian Wazorek. They're up there directing the band. We had our cheerleaders and our football players out on the field. It was also our pink out game, so hence all the pink. And the dance. Honestly, this is always kind of my biggest concern because we had over 800 kids in the gymnasium. And, you know, sometimes they can get a little dicey, but the kids were actually absolutely wonderful. It was decorated beautifully. You can see the DJ setup. Miss Lewandowski did an amazing job making sure all the kids had a good time. They all danced almost the whole time. It was very sweaty in there, but they really, really did have a good time. We had one of our newer teachers, Mr. Matthews, also known as Mr. E, over at the high school, and he decided that he was going to play DJ up there. So he was up there dancing with the kids and getting them hyped the whole time. And so they were just having, there was not a lot of downtime, and they really did a nice job. That might be it. I know I made it short and sweet. That is it. So I just wanted Mr. Simons to come up because this was one of the nicer homecomings that we've had. He really worked hard. Him, Marie, the maintenance staff, everybody worked together to make sure the fields were good looking, that everything went off perfect. We had a ton of staff presence to make sure that everything went off smoothly, and it most certainly did. So, Mr. Simons, would you like to come up and say anything?
Being homecoming is usually our biggest when it comes to spectators and students. And when we had that I know in the past, like I said, I've been here for a while. I've seen things that needed to be improved. And what we did this time around with my fellow coaching staffs, I had a lot of volunteer coaches, very structured. We had a game plan like we would for a game. We followed it. Everything went smooth. From the trainers that we had there, our emergency contact people, basically the sorting, the city helping us out, bringing us in new lights, to light up more of the fields, more of the thing for safety. Not one issue in the crowd. There was not a seat left in the crowd on both sides. And for not one hiccup to really go off at all. I mean, that definitely says that we were prepared. Then also too, a lot of the staff members came out for a hospitality tent that we put out there for our fellow teachers and administrators and coaches. It was definitely a nice touch. A lot of people like that. And our students, I mean, this is probably the first time I've actually seen our student body and our teachers all kind of be one. So it was a nice feeling. There was no, animosity anywhere. There was none of that negativity. And that's a great sign moving forward. Just staying positive, and our football team's getting better. So, and our kids are getting better. We're very young. So even though, we'll hopefully get our first win tomorrow, or Friday, sorry, but we're young and we're building. So, but other than that, it was a great experience, and thank you for everybody that helped out.
I just want to touch on the homecoming. Is that okay?
Mhm.
I had the pleasure of attending the homecoming game and the dance. My son is a senior, and so I promised him I wouldn't do anything to embarrass him, but I did sneak in the gym a couple times, and it was truly a pleasure to see all the kids, freshmen to seniors. They were all inclusive and literally dancing, just having such a good time that I kind of got a little emotional to see that. So hats off to the staff and everyone that put that together, because it really did come together well.
And we had to stick the parents in the concession stand because all the kids were like, do not come in the gym. So
Like you did that. But yeah.
So the parents that helped out, it was a huge help. So they sat there and they were working all night long. So, yeah, but thank you very much for letting us present. I wanted to bring some good news and good light about some of the amazing things that are happening at the high school, and we're really working together to make things better. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Homecoming is over, and that was a big worry after some of the things that have happened. So it's wonderful that ours was so great.
Yeah, and I'll say, I think you can just tell the attention to detail by the athletic department, by the high school administration. Those are the things that come through and make things run smooth and eliminate some of those issues. And you see Mr. Simons walking around, and he's got his timeline of exactly when he expects this, and this, and he's got it on a sheet with him. It's those kind of details that make it run smooth, and you guys did a great job. That's right.
I heard that sleeping on the roof is the new thing. Okay, next on the agenda, Mr. Wright.
Item number 4, revisions, approval of the agenda, policy 0166. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Or I believe there's a revision.
Yes, under schedule reports, number 5, there will be an MTSS report by Ms. Graham.
Ms. who?
Ms. Graham.
Ms. Graham, Emily.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the agenda with the revisions stated?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Heath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mr. Thomas isn't here. Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt,
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block,
Yes.
Mr. Heath,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 6-0.
Okay, our schedule reports. Number 5, with grant review, Stacy Vespremi, the Director of State and Federal Programs.
Have me sharing screen, but that's okay. I can say next slide. Maybe. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Technology. There we go. Let me get rid of everyone's face. Okay. So again, my name is Stacy Vespremi. You've seen me a couple times up here as the Director of State and Federal Programs. I attended the community forum for the candidates the other week, and Ms. Shufelt was talking about grants and just the amount that we have and not necessarily having a lot of knowledge because there are so many in different types, and like there's certain things that we can expend these grants on. So I just wanted to give a quick overview. I had this together in May and it just never got around to being on an agenda. So I wanted to run that back now that Stephanie had made that comment at that meeting. So Grantapalooza, I just wanted to, there we go, we're forwarding. So when we're talking about grants, there's 2 specific types of grants when it comes to school. There's federally funded grants, and those usually start with title. So when we talk about Title I, Title II, Title III, those come from the federal government. And then we have our state funds, and those start with section. The one we talk about quite a bit is Section 31A. Within those grant types, how they are distributed, there's a couple different ways. The first way is formula. So that means there's a certain amount given per student. So our 31A, we get a formula amount for every student that turns in a free and reduced lunch form and meets eligibility requirements. 31N mental health grants is another section grant, and that is another formula grant. Competitive grants, we have to submit an application and it's reviewed, and then we win the grant compared to other districts. And I presented that on that one earlier this year. That Stronger Connections grant was a competitive grant that we were awarded. There's also designated grants. So those are typically legislative actions. Mr. Wright, you know more about this than I probably do. But those are designated usually on behalf of a district. So when we had the Flint crisis, the Flint legislators went ahead and did those designated grants to serve that community. And then the final type are reimbursement or direct payment types of grants where we're reimbursed for things like our assessments. We are currently reimbursing some of our staff for their student loans. So those are reimbursement type grants. The biggest thing that we have to remember, just like with bond money, it's just not money that we have. It's supplemental to what we spend in general funds. So the cupcake with no icing is what everyone gets. So that's our general fund expenditure. You often hear that as FTE. Everyone in the state gets a certain FTE amount. Grants come in and that's the icing, sprinkles, all the good stuff that comes on top of the cupcake. So it goes above and beyond what we normally get in our FTE. So it's supplemental. We can't replace the cupcake with icing, although eating icing out of a can is not a bad thing sometimes, but we can't just eat the icing. We have to have the cupcake too. So we can't supplant is what we call it with grant funds. So we can't just pay our teachers haphazardly with the grant funds. They have to be earmarked and used with their intent and purpose. So with that in mind, all of our grant funds have to be aligned to a vision. So like our 31A funds, we have to have an MTSS plan. With our title funds, we have to have them aligned to our school improvement plan, or you might call it MyKIP, the continuous improvement plan. And as Superintendent Wager says, we're moving into a strategic planning phase as well. So putting those things all together, that creates a vision. We don't want to follow all these different plans. We want them to work together in order to create a vision for our district. And the same with our funds. We call it blending and braiding. So we use our title funds and our 31A funds, and we kind of blend and braid them together in order to create the best equitable opportunities for our students. So when we talk about MTSS, it's something that we throw around a lot, and Ms. Graham's going to go into a little bit more detail about it. It's called the multi-tier system of support. So it's making sure we meet the needs of every student in our district. So tier 1 is where 80% of our students lie. That's like the base. Everyone gets tier 1. Then the next base, the yellow, would be tier 2. So it's a little bit more intervention. And the top of the pyramid would be our most intense interventions. Some of our funding this year, when we approve those KOTs, is going to that top part of the pyramid. So it's that top part that we're doing intense interventions with our students. The MyKIP is our continuous improvement process, and that's where our Title I funds need to be aligned. So we're looking at our data sets, our school improvement data, our iReady data, our state data, and kind of putting that together to see what needs need to be met with those title funds. So this is where we're currently at. And obviously coming into this, we know there's a lot of work to do in order to meet the needs of our students. You remember at the top that 3 to 5% is where our intervention, that's where most of our kids, or a few of our kids, should lie. And right now for reading, we see that about 49% of our students are considered at risk. Now, this is just a snapshot. So you have to look at the big picture when we're looking at data. This kid could have had a bad testing day. They might not have slept. They might not have had something to eat. They might have just said, I don't want to do this, and just went. So when we're looking at this, we have to look at big picture, getting input from teachers, and really could determine whether they are truly tier 3. So that's reading currently. And then math, something pretty similar. So going into our fundings, and again, Ms. Graham's going to go into MTSS a little bit more after me. When we're looking at Title I funds, again, those are federal funds, and those are meant to help disadvantaged students. They're based on our census poverty. So we think we just had our census in 2020. So every 10 years, it's really important as a district that we promote people to turn in their census forms, because that is how we get our funding. We get an initial amount that we usually get in the spring, and pretty soon we'll get a final amount. So once the state figures out how they're allocating the funds, we'll get a final amount. And we'll also get what we call carryover. So whatever we did not spend last year, we do get to recoup that back and spend that this year as well. Our distribution starts July 1 until June 30, and I put June 30 because we do have some flexibility to spend it up until September 30 with summer programming. We spend these on district overall type programs, some of our software, and then we do spend it on building allocations. This is formulaic based on our census poverty aligned to the MyKIP and CNAs. So right now, this was last year, our district expenditures were our school improvement team, a portion of my salary, our homeless liaison. A lot of our homeless programs are funded with Title I and the transportation and supports for those. Our school expenditures at the time were deans of students, the 9th grade assistant principals, our instructional coaches, our academic assistants, behavior interventions, parent engagement, and any building needs, like so hands-on manipulatives, technology, and things like that. One of the things that came out of our Title I review last year with our MDE consultant was the amount of money we were spending on administrative expenditures. So I know there have already been discussions about that, about moving the deans and some of those administrative expenditures out of there, and that's already been done for this fiscal year. We also have regional assistance grants through Title I, and that's through our partnership agreement with MDE, because we had a few of those schools that fell below in the school index. So MDE will come in and we have monthly meetings with them and our ISD consultant. And they look at our expenditures to support both Myers and TVLA. And those are used to support the school social worker, counselor, additional academic support, professional learning, and extended day opportunities. Title II are professional development funds. We also at the time funded a little bit of the resilience director salary, a little bit of the SIT team, but most of that is spent for professional learning, whether it's registration costs, travel costs. We do some of the coaching costs with that as well, and any substitute or stipend costs. Title III are ELL funds, and that again, intent and purpose is to assure our English language learners are acquiring the skills to meet the academic standards. So those help to fund, again, ancillary supplies like newcomer kits, software applications, summer take-home materials, and professional learning and family engagement activities. Title IV is for well-rounded activities. So when we talk about well-rounded, we're looking at PE, STEM, mental health. So we increased our PE time at the elementary, a half FTE. So we partially fund a PE teacher. We fund our STEAM, one of our STEAM teachers with that fund, our STEAM materials, music, software, our experiences materials. And last year we bought babies for the high school. They've been wanting babies for a while. So I'm sorry for the parents that had to have the babies at home. Section 31A is a large amount, and this is what we get from the state. Again, this needs to be aligned to an MTSS plan, and the true intent from the legislature is that it is aligned to attendance, third grade reading proficiency, eighth grade math, and college and career readiness. So that is used for at-risk students. So any student that qualifies for free and reduced lunch, any student that is at risk of not meeting academic standards, ELL students, homeless students, any student considered at risk, we can spend Section 31A funds. We do have to do an annual program and fiscal report, and this aligns with the state budget that you often hear on the news. This goes from October 1st to September 30th. What's nice about 31A, our title funds have to go through a full budget review from MDE. So they say yay or nay on what we apply for. With 31A, we don't have to do that full budget review, but we do still have to meet the intent and purpose. So one of the things that I've been doing, some of the expenditures in the past, when they still do come in and audit every 5 years, were not allowable. So we've been doing an audit of those Section 31A funds and having to move some of that around in order to align to the intent and purpose of 31A. And finally, with that, there's no administrative costs that can be aligned to that. So we can do some administrative costs with title funds, but not with any section state funds. So we fund our instructional coaches, our instructional interventionists, security personnel, ELL teachers, although that's one of the things we'll end up having to move because that's a civil rights requirement. So that will have to be state funded. Our TVLA teachers, we have literacy teachers at both middle schools, software, supplemental materials, and professional learning. And our counselors were added this year as well, and some social work. Section 41 is also an ELL grant. We do fund one staff member with that and along with supplemental materials. And we encourage teachers to get their ESL endorsement, and we pay for that out of their Section 41 funds. 31N is mental health support. That's our Growth Works contracted services in order to provide extra social work services to our students. We have ARP Homeless. This ended in September 30, but that's how we got washers and dryers in the schools. We got the Family Resource Center and the clothing closets up and running. Section 31AA, you may have heard of this in the news. That was a large mental health grant. It was voted down, but they currently are revising that. So we should be able to see some of that expenditure in the fall or in the spring, I'm sorry. They were cutting this by up to 90%, and this was funding our resilience coaches and calming corners, but that is being reviewed and we should expect to see something similar this spring. The board voted on this. We got the Zero Eyes firearm detection software. I don't know if they did this in the board report, but I heard, maybe it was just in an email, a kid was on a playground with a play gun and it caught it. And I was like, that's pretty cool. 26H is another part of our partnership agreement that is through RISA that does our attendance agents at Myers and TVLA. And just some other ones that are hanging out there. We have robotics, FAFSA completion. So that's to encourage students to finish their FAFSA. Voc Ed administration. So we pay for a partial salary for our Voc Ed administrator at the Career Center. Early literacy reading materials and CTE, special ed, IDEA, GSRP are all separate grants as well. So in 24-25, we anticipate 35J, which will help support our tier 1 investment in new materials. We have that $200 offset to offset reimbursements for student loans. We're working with RISA on 23H, which is a math grant that will help support research-based math resources, hopefully to offset some of those tier 1 math resources and some professional development. And 23G was used to fund those KOTs that you supported earlier this year. So finally, I think I'm finally, and I'll let Emily go into much more exciting detail about how we're using these. With all of these funds, we have to be mindful of the intent and purpose. Just like the bond, we just can't do what we want with it. And so we have to make sure that they're aligned to a valuable and integral MTS process along with a school improvement process. So that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to work on right now, not just for compliance, but for moving the district forward. So we're working on that. Again, Ms. Graham will go into that. I have talked about past expenditures being moved. We did close out an audit from 2019 this year, our 31A audit, but they're always looking. There's rumors we're up for another one next year already. So that will be interesting. So again, moving beyond compliance to MTSS and school improvement. And just so you know, for this year alone, there's 175 grants that are going to be floating out there. So it is a lot of upkeep. It is a lot of budgeting and compliance and submitting applications. I worked with Mr. Gerard this year on Healthy Schools grant of looking at putting in more water fountains in our schools and doing some HVAC replacements through there. That's a competitive grant, so we haven't heard anything about that yet. And again, that 23H mathematics grant is something new for this year too that we're working with RISA on. So while Ms. Graham's making her way up there, I know that's a lot and it's not very fun, exciting stuff. So she'll do the fun and exciting part. Any questions about grants? Okay,
Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah, thank you.
anytime.
Real quick, I know that the 31AA funds, I know when the state legislature passed their budget, they cut 98% of that. I know that they just passed a supplemental budget amendment. Was that I thought that was to replenish
I
that?
think, but they're not, I believe they're not releasing that till April.
Yeah, they did. They passed it, but the issue is they did not pass it when they passed the bill to have immediate effect.
Okay.
And because it doesn't have immediate effect, we have to wait until the term is done, the legislature session is up. And so really it's spring when that money becomes available.
And that's part of the issue too with some of these grants is they get passed, but then someone has to figure out how to budget them and read the legislation, and reading legislation, it's up to interpretation. So it has to go through the interpretation and who an MD is going to monitor it. So some of these grants, while passed, we don't even get them till May. So. Okay.
Thanks. Didn't need to like go to the next agenda item. Okay, we're good. All right, so I'm Emily Graham. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Curriculum and Resilience, and I'm going to go over why we take these funds and then invest them into people to move the needle forward in Taylor. I'm going to make it real interesting. So Ms. Vespremi already covered MTSS. So we basically know that MTSS involves looking at a child's social emotional needs as well as their academics and their behavioral and attendance. We know historically Taylor has an attendance issue and we're aggressively attacking that issue. And so I'm going to share some things that our MTSS team is doing to encourage students to attend. Typically, we have a tier 1, 2, and 3, and with a district this large, we have a hard time getting everybody to row the boat in the same direction. We have this nice balance between what the state requires us to do. And then also the state wants us to consider the individual needs of the students within the buildings. This means that the buildings, as well as the district, need to use data to make decisions about the people placement and then what kind of work they're doing within the schools. So what have we done with MTSS? I spoke to the board when I first started as the resilience director, and we knew that the resilience work and MTSS were going to be kind of partnering because of the behavioral aspect of MTSS. So in fall of 2023, we adopted Branching Minds, which is a platform that helps us with our MTSS process in terms of connecting students with their interventions. We started our district MTSS team, which had already been meeting regularly, but we pulled them in for in-house district meetings and had kind of separated ourselves from the RESA support because we had Branching Minds, we knew which direction we were moving, we knew what we needed to do, so we dug in and started doing the work. We knew we needed to focus on behavior, academics, and attendance. We needed to look at the current interventionist structure that we had throughout the district and make sure that we were using our interventionists in the most effective ways. We aligned funding sources with Stacy, and then we changed some contract language to allow our interventionists to do a little bit different work based on the data that we were gathering. In the summer, we looked at all of our interventionists, all of our academic assistants, all of our behavioral interventionists, we had reading interventionists, we had different people that were looking at various aspects, and we got everybody into a group. And we basically said, in Taylor, if you are an interventionist, you need to choose, and we'll help you decide which path you want to go. Are you going to help with behavioral interventions or academic interventions? All of our interventionists were found placements, even the people that we were released from Eureka Heights, we replaced those in the buildings. And then we decided we needed to look at the job structure for our interventionists for both academics and behavior, and then communicate that to the principals and make sure everybody was doing the same thing. If you are receiving interventions at Taylor Parks, those are the same kinds of interventions that are available at Randall, that are the same kinds of interventions available at McDowell. We needed to make sure that from the district lens, everybody was doing the same thing. That way we can we can look at all the data and make good decisions for the entire district moving forward. In the fall, we posted our MTSS Resilience Director position. As Ms. Vespremi mentioned, that has to be a general funded activity because it is administrative. All of the people that fall below on the MTSS chart, which I'm going to show you, are grant funded people, but that director position is a general funded initiative. And then we started having monthly meetings. We've been having monthly meetings with our behavior interventionists, our academic interventionists, our kids on track teachers, all of the people K-12 that are doing any sort of resilience or restorative work. We're meeting consistently to talk about our responses to student misbehavior and how we are addressing the academic gaps that we are sometimes facing. So this is kind of our anchored chart. Up at the top, we see that our director of MTSS and resilience kind of manages the entire package. We see our schools listed at the top on the first row, and then the next one down, we see all of our school improvement coordinators. Our school improvement coordinators work very closely with the district MTSS person, as well as Mr. Gribble and myself, to make sure that everything that we are doing for MTSS aligns with what is fundable for the grants. That means the people that are doing the work, the systems that are doing the work. So all of that coordination is passed down. The school improvement coordinators are in buildings. They are helping to partner with the principals to run MTSS meetings, as well as the school improvement meetings, and then those schools that are still identified as needing additional support. We have underneath our school improvement coordinators, you'll see our kids on track. Those are our tier 3 interventionists for academics. In those two long ovals, you see our behavior interventionists that are helping with tier 2 and 3 interventionists, or I'm sorry, tier 2 and 3 interventions. Our academic interventionists that are helping with tier 2. And then down at the bottom, we have our general education teachers. That is Stacy, when she illustrated the cupcake, that is everybody that is giving every student that base of the cupcake. And then all of the other people, those are all the frosting and the sprinkles and the cherries and everything else to get kids on track, both behaviorally and academically. In our secondary buildings, we have reading and math 180 that are serving as our tier 2 and 3 interventions. And then we also are, as you know, looking at our Griffin Hour and redesigning that to make sure that that is strategic in providing student support. So really quickly through this, I outlined the school improvement coordinators that help to coordinate from the top down. Then we have our Kids on Track teachers. We are one of the only districts that has certified teachers because of securing a grant that are providing tier 3 interventions. These teachers are well-versed in how to look at student data. They're excited about this. They have all of their work ahead of them. And we know that there are some district goals that we need to make sure that they're attacking first. Looking at our district-wide data, we saw that 4th and 5th graders have significant deficiencies in reading. And so we know based on research that we have to close that gap and close it quickly before the students leave elementary school in order for us to have the best shot at getting those students to be reading at grade level by middle school, where we kind of transition from learning to read to reading to learn. So everybody in the KOT department is working on 4th and 5th grade reading deficiencies. And then as those students are exited from those interventions, because again, MTSS is a general funded initiative that is to help general education students get on track, then they can rely on their building data to make the next determination of which students they're going to be seeing. Our academic and behavior interventionists, are working really closely with our KOTs. Our behavioral interventionists are working very closely with our resilience team. So our resilience team, using our trauma-informed and resiliency-based strategies, are meeting with that team once a month to talk about, are our student removals consistent? Are the way that classrooms are setting up their structure consistent? What are the other things that we need to message to parents and then teachers to strengthen that bond so that the behavior then is in line with what we're expecting in school? All of these positions are keeping logs, which is kind of new to many of these interventionist positions, so that we can make sure that they're spending the right amount of time doing the things that are right for moving students forward. Our gen ed teachers are working on our tier 1. We know that we cannot intervention our way out of a tier 1 issue. We're meeting with our ELA team because we're about to look at doing a pilot program. And we know that everybody consistently along the way in all of our K-5 classrooms need to know that there are certain tenets of teaching reading. And then when we adopt our new curriculum, we're going to make sure that everything is all lined up. Having a guide that teachers can look to make sure that they're using the right allocated minutes and they're connecting those to the right resources is a goal of all that tier 1 work. And then our instructional and resilience coaches, also grant funded, but it's important to know that these folks are exclusively working with teachers. These are our highly trained teachers that are on special assignment that go into classrooms to do co-teaching, modeling, the plan, teach, debrief cycle, so that we're having embedded coaching and professional development in all of our classrooms. And then our principals head up our MTSS and our school improvement team. They partner with all of these people. We're having consistent meetings to make sure that everybody across the board is doing the same thing. All right, so what are our next steps? We know that attendance is huge. 31A says you got to pay attention to attendance. Our behavior and our social emotional learning, we still have those trauma-informed and resiliency-based instructional goals. And then our academics, we need a PLC reboot, where the conference that everybody was going to in October got canceled, but we're hoping to reschedule that. We're working on tier 1 curriculum work. We're going back to the EIP, the Effective Instructional Practices Framework, to make sure that we're revisiting that. That was an initiative that was started several years ago, which just truly illustrates just good teaching. We're developing an instructional playbook that would be something that you'd be able to hand a brand new 2nd grade teacher that would walk in to the building. We'd say, welcome, here's your curriculum and here's how to teach it. And then we're implementing Horizon Education at the secondary level, which will do a much better job of grabbing the data than iReady data did. So the next steps for us is to continue to work on our right-sizing our pyramid. We have a tier 3 issue. We have a lot of students that are involved in interventions right now. And to some of the special ed discussions that have happened today, Because our MTSS process has not been robust and we have not followed it, and that's for myriad reasons. We've had changes of leadership and things have gotten lost and confused. And as we're trying to get everything back together, we know that we have an over-identification of students that are receiving special education services. 31A provides us support and resources so that we can create a structure for general education students to help them get back on track before we make that special education referral. Right now, our parents that are in our district know that one way for them to get extra support is to ask to have their child tested for special education. What we are asking now is to have parents understand our MTSS process that's happening at the district and the building level, so that the parents understand that if their child is struggling in like math or ELA or behaviorally, we can plug them into our MTSS structure and to provide some embedded interventions before it gets to the point where we do need to ask for the help of our special education services. That structure is what all of Michigan follows. So we have to be stronger about providing those supports. And we have worked very hard at creating a structure that works with people that are in places, plugging along, doing exactly what we know is the right work with students. So we will keep continuing to grow our math and our ELA MTSS programs by making sure that we have things to be strategic for both tier 1, for all of tier 1, 2, and 3. So even more, you may have noticed, maybe some people in the audience who have children, that you received a mailer, an attendance mailer. Our MTSS team has been working overtime and attending attendance professional development sessions at RESA to help encourage people to come to school. So all Taylor residents received a magnet, which you see down there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, where they can actually track their child's attendance. So if you had 3 kids, you got 3 magnets. And then every Sunday, there is an email and remind blast that reminds everybody, hey, get ready. It's Sunday night. We're getting ready for school tomorrow. And we're hoping to increase not only the attendance, but we know if the kids are in school, we can teach them and they can learn and we can move that needle. So if we can help with the attendance thing, we know that that will end up, we're reaping that benefit down the road. All right. And so I know that that is a lot. And what Stacy and I have talked about in the past is that some of this work that we are doing is really hidden. We're doing a lot of number crunching and looking at job descriptions, aligning grants with money, and it's kind of the unsung stuff. And I know it's 8 o'clock at night and we just talked to you about grants and MTSS. But what we were hoping to do today was impress upon you how truly important and crucial this work is. And you have a lot of people in Taylor, whether they are teachers or interventionists or, support staff, that are doing amazing work at getting everybody rowing the boat in the same direction. And it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah, and I want to say, when we had our structured conference review recently, and we showed them as some of the evidence of what we've been doing, particularly for attendance at Myers and TVLA, and we talked about these attendance initiatives. I think they wanted to walk out and steal our magnets and share them with other districts who are in the same boat. So we were getting lots of kudos and recognition on the great work that our staff is doing to push the bar and push the needle here.
Thank you for that. Does the board have any questions at all? All right, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Graham and Ms. Vespremi. Okay, number 6, discussion items. Number 1, overnight out-of-state field trip request, Boston, Massachusetts. Samantha Banas. And it looks like Matt Hall.
Yeah. So I'm Sam Banas. I'm the Principal's Pride Advisor for Hoover Middle School. This year, I planned a bigger trip than I have the past 2. Because the past 2 years, we've invited multiple grades. So I've had kids who've gone as 6th graders with me to Mackinac. And then as seventh graders gone with me to Chicago. And now they're eighth graders. And last year when we went to Chicago, they said they wanted to do a bigger trip. So I planned the biggest trip I could think of. And they're pretty excited about it. We're going to Boston. And we're doing everything that Boston has to offer. It's 4 days that we are hitting the ground running as soon as we get off the bus. We are doing a replica tour of the Mayflower. We're seeing Plymouth Rock. We are doing Paul Revere's Trail.
Ironsides.
Oh, we're going to Salem. And they get to tour Harvard, which is something all of them, their eyes that get this big when I mentioned that we get to go to Harvard. And they're all very excited. I already have 17 members signed up for the trip. And the trip is only based on 35. So we're already halfway there. And they've only been invited for about a month. So they are very excited. They're already participating in some of the fundraisers. And not just students are excited, but parents are excited. Like I have 4 parent chaperones that have already signed up as well. Because this is a bigger trip, it is more costly. But I went into the parent meeting explaining that to all the parents and they seem to accept it. Even though they know with the way the economy is and how things are financially for everyone nowadays, they're willing to spend this for their kids because it's basically covering everything they've done in social studies up to 8th grade. We're pretty much hitting everything that they've learned. So the kids are pretty interested. Any other history buff like myself is pretty geeked. So
Just as a side note, I wanted to stay tonight because I get to stand next to greatness. She doesn't give herself enough credit. Sam.
he's just far too kind.
So many of you don't know, but Sam is our new Pohai teacher at Hoover. And when we had a mass retirement, one of the pits in my stomach was, how are you going to fill this position? And out of nowhere, Sam was able to step into a really unique opportunity. And that opportunity wouldn't have been available had it not been for Erica Smith and Marissa McCray from our special ed department that worked with Risa and took that opportunity and ran with it. And frankly, I think Taylor led the way on that charge and they've built a lot of capacity. So Sam was able to move out of ELA into the Pohai position. And not just that, but some other things that were said tonight. She also took advantage of the ELL certification that was there. So she's up now ELL certified as well. So I'm surrounding myself with greatness. Yes, it is a lot more expensive, but a lot more fundraising opportunities and things like that. And the company did some really neat things too. They have their own fundraising system where you can donate and it's 100%. They don't take any percentage off. So for like Christmas time, if family members want to donate or what have you, that's there for them. So we're getting some good feedback and it's been great. So just a big shout out to you and all the hard work that you do. And there's some good things. It's amazing. Yeah. We may have to arm wrestle about who gets to go this year. And I've made that really clear to the kids because on the form it says principal's pride. But as you know, sometimes your assistants are Mrs. Rattay, and I will say it again. She's amazing. And so we may have to arm wrestle about who gets to go this year. But it might be her time. So I'm going to leave it at that. And the kids know that. So with that, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions about our Boston trip?
Are you going to the Nye Museum?
We are going, there's a few museums on our list, as well as the tour, like we're doing the National Trail. And I believe a lot of the museums are along the National Trail.
Yeah.
And the National Trail, it's split up between 2 days because we can't do it all in one day.
Thank you again for your consideration.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any things to? Okay, our next is out-of-state field trip request, Huntington Center, Kirk Miller.
Good evening. I'm Kirk Miller. I'm a PE teacher at West Middle School. I'm asking for the board to approve our PBIS field trip to the Huntington Center where the Toledo Walleye play for our PBS award for our students. We go there usually every year. And we go to the Toledo Walleye every year and we go bowling once a year. So we try to do something for 3 times a year for each quarter of the trimester, I guess that would be, of the year. So any questions about our field trip?
Does anybody have any questions? Thank you, Kirk.
Thanks.
Okay, number 3, overnight field trip request, Thespian Festival. Elena Petruski.
Hello. I actually have a little video, a little teaser. We'll just do like 2 minutes of it at the most, just to give you an idea. This is where we went last year. And let me just preface it by saying last year, 2 of our 2 seniors that sent audition tapes to universities, they were both offered almost $250,000 each total in scholarship offers. So the Thespian Festival is the largest arts scholarship program in the world. And it's right here in Michigan. And as of right now, we have about 15 kids. And then just a little teaser video that they send out. It's actually I swear he isn't.
This is the most unique experience that you will ever have. It is the one weekend a year when we can be around people like us who love theater. I watch everyone walk around this weekend every year and feel like they can just be who they are with joy and confidence. And they know that everyone around them shares that joy.
Okay. Oh yeah. Start the clock, here we go. Are you ready? If you're looking for a fight, got plenty. We've been staying on the grind and it's heavy. We go hard, don't stop, keep it steady like go, fight, win. Let the games begin. There's no limits, full sin. Give it all you got now, we're all in. Yeah, this is our moment. This is the clutch. Here comes the countdown. Like 3, 2, 1. Light it up. Light it up. We're on fire, keep fighting, we're going non-stop. Light it up. Light it up. Take it high and keep climbing until we reach the top. Light it up. We're going up. Come on, you already know. I'm a killer, gorilla, an animal. Eat you alive, call me Hannibal. Can't hold me down, no way, no how. Can't you hear the crowd? Unforgettable, this is our moment. This is the clutch. Here comes the countdown. Here it comes now. You ready? Like 3, 2, 1. Light it up. Light it up. Yeah. We're on fire. Keep fighting. We're going non-stop. Light it up. Light it up. Light it up. Make it high and keep climbing until we reach the top. Light it up. Gonna set this on fire. This is the clutch. This is the clutch. Go, fight, win. Come on. Let the games begin. I'm so ready for this. Full sin. Give it all you got now. We're all in. Yo, start the clock. Light it up. Yeah, yeah. Light it up. Come on. We're on fire. Keep fighting. We're going on. Tell me when. Tell me when. Light it up. Light it up. We're all in. Make it high and keep climbing until we reach the top. Light it up. We're on fire. Light it up. Pick it up now. Yeah. We're on fire. Keep fighting. We're going non-stop. Yeah, yeah. Light it up. We ain't slowing down. Light it up. Woo. Make it high and keep climbing until we reach the top. Light it up.
Okay. It's one night. It's December 13th, and that's really about it. We have about 3 chaperones so far. Myself, my husband, Miss Hakama, who's new English teacher. She wants to come. She's gonna be helping with the theater department. And that's really it. You guys have any questions?
Are there any questions?
I don't have a question. I just want to say, I just want to thank Ms. Petrucci for building an amazing group of kids
Oh,
and theater department and the dedication. If you have not been to one of their shows, I beg each and every one of you, they're having their winter show. We were just talking about it before the meeting. Go and see the talent of these kids. Last year, Schufelt went with me, when I think, was it Greece? Yeah.
It's really good.
And it's just amazing to see what these kids can do and their performance and just their skills. And it starts from the leader that's leading them. And this year you have how many kids a part of the
Oh
program?
my gosh, a lot. Like, we ran out of scripts. There were about 50 kids pretty consistently at the last couple of meetings.
Yes.
I don't know how I'm gonna cast them all.
And it's phenomenal to see what you've been able to build and the family that group has. It truly is heartwarming to see those kids come together and really act like a family, watch out for each other, care for one another,
Yeah.
and really just be basically one large family. So thank you
Oh.
for continuously building this program and continuing to invest in our kids and give them those opportunities.
Thank you, and thank you for your support. That was awesome. We couldn't have done Grease without you. Thank you. Because it's the most expensive show that I know of, and you guys paid for the rights. So that was awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 5. Oh, no, I forgot number 4, sorry. Overnight conference request, EMS networking meeting and leading the way. Stacy Vespremi.
So back to the grant stuff. This is on behalf of one of our instructional coaches, Jen Wolney, who's our EMS for the district. So this is in coordination with RISA. It's one of the requirements of the 23H initiative. And that is to help our students with their early numeracy skills and number sense. So actually RISA is paying a portion of her salary this year. So that will free up some Title I funds for other initiatives. So they're paying for a portion of her salary, the manipulatives that go along with the training and the training itself. So everything on this is reimbursed.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Ms. Vespremi. Number 5. RISA Master Service Agreement, Mr. Ross.
John Ross, IT Director. So I'm here more for function than fun tonight, but you can go to the next slide. So we have our master service agreement with RISA up right now. We are actually going into year 4 here of a 5-year. The first 3 years were the front end of the contract, and the last 2 are simply just new or years that are continuing on to that. So what this new contract does, you may be familiar with one that you renewed less than a year ago, and that was in regards to the Polyplot. So what they've done is they've split that MSA into a couple different agreements. So we've got the new master agreement, which is just going to be MyStar and Smart going forward. And then Polyplot's going to be on its own annual agreement going forward. So the 2 are split, and they're doing it because of just to have a little bit more annual costs that are going up with Polyplot, but they're not going up with the other. They just want costs to be more predictable for districts. So this that we're talking about right now only has to do with the continuation of MyStar and Smart. As you can see, MyStar is our student information system, and then Smart is for financial management, human resource management, payroll processing, and next slide, please. So like I said, Polyplot was renewed earlier this year on its own contract. That will again renew annually, starting on 7/1 of 25. MyStar and Smart are going to a similar contract structure. This one's going to be a 2-year renewal. And after that, it then moves to an automatic renewal for the next 3 years. All we're doing here is these next 2 years of this contract just kind of continue the same cost matrix that the previous contract has. So it's simply just a replacement to pull Polyplot out of. And then in the next slide, you can see what that cost matrix looks like. In years 1 and 2 of this contract, it's simply just a cost continuation of the prior contract with Polyplot stripped out. And then the next 3 are those automatically renewing years that ensue. Does anybody have any questions about MyStar, Smart, or any of the costs associated over the next 5-year agreement here?
Okay, thanks, John. I don't think we have anybody with any questions. Okay, number 6, TFT Memorandum of Understandings, Ancillary Staff, Mrs. Smith.
Hi, Erica Smith, Director of Special Education. I am looking for some financing for my ancillary staff who are picking up where we don't have staff. Just a positive note, in the beginning of the school year, before school even started, we were down 17 teachers, special ed teachers. We hired 14. We were down 3 school social workers. We hired 2. We were down 4 speech and language pathologists, and now we were able to hire 1. So with those openings, we have to make sure by federal law that these students are being taken care of, that they're being seen per their IEPs. And in doing so, we are asking for an MOU to support our current staff to help assist with those students. So that way we don't have to turn around and do compensatory services, which costs us a lot more in the end. So these funds that we're using are funds from the vacant positions, and until we are able to get those staff that we need. We are still currently looking, but in the meantime, we don't want to be out of compliance either. We also have a need for nurses, and we are currently at about 17 diabetics, when at the last year we were only at 6 or 7. There was an increase in the number of students who have trachs. There was an increase in number of students who also have seizures and seizure plans. So we want to make sure that our kids are safe by having the staff that we need. In the meantime, again, we're asking for some compensation for the nurses that we do have in order to make sure that they are getting to our kids and making sure our kids are safe. Any questions?
Are there any questions? And there's how many that you're gonna,
I'm sorry,
how many staff is this?
we are missing.
Yes.
We are missing 1 school social worker, 3 speech and language pathologists, and we're looking to add on for nursing because we have such a high need.
Are there any questions?
Thank you so much.
Number 7, TFT Memorandum of Understanding, Substitute Teachers, Mr. Wager.
Thank you. In your packets, you have a memorandum of understanding we'd like to enter into with the Taylor Federation of Teachers regarding the compensation for substitute teachers. This would apply to not EduStaff subs that we contract out with. This is for our in-house building subs and for our professional development subs. The reason that there's twofold that we're bringing this memorandum of understanding forward. The first is these are not easy positions to fill, so we are trying to make them more attractive so that we can bring those up to being fully staffed. And the other, quite honestly, is when you get into the nitty-gritty of negotiating a contract, sometimes you finish and you realize there is something that did not come to the table that probably should have, and that would be this pay. So whereas we had negotiated fair compensation for all of their aspects, we did miss what we needed to put forward for building subs and the PD subs, and this is to correct and right that that did not happen during that negotiation process.
What could the bottom line be for this?
So I will say, when you're talking about the professional development subs, they are, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they are grant funded positions, so they get covered out of the grant money. Basically, this would affect just building subs that would be general funded, and they would be, well, I believe we have like one position per building. It's wouldn't be that huge of a impact on our bottom line. But an exact amount, I don't have that off the top of my head.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay, hearing none, Mr. Wager, could you go into number 8, MASB strategic plan?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've talked a lot about, as we've been going through this process of, the questions about what we were doing with the high school. And then tonight, even when we're talking about the bond, and I've stressed quite often that we really need to enter into a 5-year strategic plan process. I believe the last time we did so would probably be back in like 2017 or so is my guess. It was when I was still here originally as an assistant principal at the time. So we are overdue for going through and doing this process. Basically, we would have the MASB would come in, a representative would come here, they would hold various stakeholder meetings. So they would have meetings with the Board of Education, they'd have meetings with community members, with staff, with administration, with students. Basically, they set up these meetings, they get a feel from all these stakeholders, input of things that they think that the district should move forward and build into as our plan as we move forward over the next 5 years. And then at the end of the process, they start holding meetings with a smaller group of stakeholders where they take all that data and they take all that info and that input that they received throughout the meeting processes, and then they create with us what we are specifically going to be our aims going forward. And as it ties so nicely to the presentation we saw regarding grants and MTSS, this is another part of that, the pieces that shape our vision. So when we have a good MTSS plan that feeds our vision, and we build a strategic plan that also feeds into that same spot, we are going to be doing our best to meet the needs of every student in this school district. Like I said, it's just one of those things too, that it's overdue. We've needed to do this for a while.
This was 2018 to 2023. It's the last one.
Okay, I was off by a year. Yeah. Oh, I think the planning started. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not a question, it's just, I know that previously in the bond presentation, you discussed about how this strategic plan would incorporate any other future bonds. And so if that is the case, I really want to stress the involvement of the community in the strategic plan and making sure they have a voice, not just a seat at the table, but a voice in determining what that money gets used for. Because no matter what, it's going to have to come to this board, it's going to have to go to the community. But the fact that they should have that opportunity to say what happens.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely needs to happen.
No, I would want to encourage everybody to come out, come to the meetings, give your feedback, because it's going to be more than just that. But that is definitely one of the things that when I talked to MASB, when we contract with them, one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to come out, they're going to meet with us, and they're going to say, like, what are some of the inputs that you have when we start going out and having those meetings? And I would agree with that.
I would like to see them go into the community and talk to them and take their feedback and bring it back to allow us to, not us take what we want to them and say, this is what we want, and then, but give them a say.
Yeah, 100%.
And it said this agreement was good for 6 months.
Yeah.
So we're.
Yeah, because it usually,
Yeah,
you start in January and then it would be, it takes them probably between 4 and 6 months to go through the entire process and come up with the plan on the other end.
okay, so at the bottom line is still the $10,753.04.
Yep, correct.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? All right, Mr. Wright, it's up to you.
Right. Item number 7, action items. First up, we have the overnight out-of-state field trip request, Boston, Massachusetts, policy 2340 and policy 8640. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following overnight out-of-state field trip request, Hoover Middle School, Boston, Massachusetts, May 21st through the 24th, 2025. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Thomas. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Shufel?
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Heath?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas is not here. That carries 6-0. Item number 2, out-of-state field trip request, Huntington Center, policy 2340 and policy 8640. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following out-of-state field trip request, West Middle School, Huntington Center, Toledo, Ohio, December 4th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shufel. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Ms. Shufel?
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Heath?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas is not here. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 3, overnight field trip request, Thespian Festival, policy 2340 and policy 8640 is recommended the Board of Education approve the following overnight field trip request, Taylor High School Thespian Festival, Lansing, Michigan, December 13th through the 14th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shufel. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Heath?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas is not here. Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Shufel?
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 4, overnight conference request, EMS networking meeting and leading the way conference, policy 6550. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the overnight conference request for Jennifer Woolney to attend the EMS networking meeting and leading the way conference in Bath Township, Michigan, October 28th through 30th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shufel. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Heath?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas is not here. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Shufel?
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes. That carries 6-0. Item number 5, Wayne Recent Master Agreement, policy 6320 is recommended the Board of Education approve the Wayne Risa Computer Consortium Master Agreement in order to provide the district with services outlined in attachment A of the master agreement. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Thomas. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Heath. I'll give it to him this time. You guys usually say it at the same time. Mr. Heath.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas is not here. Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufel.
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 6, Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT Memorandum of Understanding, Substitute Teachers. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the MOU of the Taylor School District, MOU between the Taylor School District and the Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT, regarding substitute teacher pay. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Thomas. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas is not here. Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufel?
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Heath?
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 7, Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT Memorandum of Understanding, Social Workers. Oh, we have to break it down.
Correct, yeah.
Social workers. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the MOU between the Taylor School District and the Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT, in regards to social workers. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Thomas. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufel.
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 8, Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT Memorandum of Understanding, Speech Pathologist. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the MOU between the Taylor School District and the Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT, in regards to
Social
regards to
pathologist.
speech pathologists. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Heath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufel.
Yes.
Mr. Riggs, a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 9, Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT Memorandum of Understanding, School Nurse. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the MOU between the Taylor School District and the Taylor Federation of Teachers, TFT, in regards to school nurses. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Thomas. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Ms. Shufel.
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Here, Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item number 10, MASB Strategic Plan. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the MASB Strategic Planning proposal / contract not to exceed $10,753.04. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shufel. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Mr. Heath.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yep.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufel.
Yes.
That carries 6-0.
On the agenda next is Superintendent's report. Mr. Wager.
All right, thank you, everybody. I know I kind of mentioned it earlier when we had the committee of the whole meeting. And I just want to reiterate it again, in case we have people who came in since, or we've had other people come in online. Question did come up about the communication piece, that a lot of times we have things that come up in audience participation, but they are things that the whole community could benefit from hearing the answers to. And currently what we've done is, after we've had a board meeting, I spend my time calling and making sure we reach out and we have conversations with everybody who comes up and speaks at audience participation. But some of those questions that get asked are good for everybody. And so we did create today, we did put up a frequently asked questions page that will be on our website under the Board of Education tab. And we are going to start putting in there like things that we get at the audience participation, or things that we get feedback on that we think everybody would benefit from. We're going to start posting those questions and those answers on that page for everybody. I've heard a lot of people saying it for a while at audience participation. I heard it at the school board candidates forum in the past week. And it just is something that we need to do to be, more transparent and communicate better with the community. The second piece I want to talk about is something I've been saying at every meeting for quite a while, but this is, I believe, going to be one of my last chances to put it out there. There is going to be a Wayne County Regional Enhancement Millage that is going to be on the ballot on election day on November 5th. This is just a renewal. It is something that already exists. It's not going to be an increase to any taxes. And this is a countywide initiative. So essentially, Wayne Risa is putting this out there to renew what they already collect. And they take the money that is collected from this enhancement millage, and then they split it up amongst all of the school districts within Wayne County. And typically for Taylor schools, depending on the year, we've received between $2 million and $2.5 million as a result of what is collected by Wayne Risa. This is money that we can put to a variety of initiatives. It's not something like we talked about with bond or with grant money that has to be tied to something in particular, but it can absolutely be used to offset what we do in our general fund and the programming that we provide to all of our students. So it is something that is essential. It is something that has helped us for several years, and it is something that will be good for us going forward. So I just want to put that reminder out there that this is going to be on the ballot coming up on November 5th. And the last thing I want to say, and this is just me on a personal note, one of the things I was excited to get started last year was our Superintendent Student Advisory Committee. And I'm excited that we have our first meeting tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to the feedback that we get from students. One of the things, they don't know this yet, but it'll be on their agenda tomorrow, is I also am looking at for them to sign up And we can have them come out and report at board meetings as well as something on the agenda, a piece where we are hearing feedback from our student leadership as well as a board and as a community. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how excited they are to sign up to come on Wednesday night and do presentations, but I think they will be. I think they're that kind of students who are going to be excited to be able to have this opportunity and to give to the community. So I'm really excited for that on a personal note. It always makes me feel like I'm back in the classroom teaching social studies again when I get to go run these meetings, and I love every minute of it.
Thank you, Mr. Wager. Mr. Wright,
Right.
number 9.
Item number 9, consent agenda policy 0166.1 and policy 6470. First, we have minutes from the regular board meeting of October 2nd, 2024. Item number 2, consolidated items, payment of current bills, certified, non-certified, and administrative reports. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Shufel. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Heath,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufel.
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes. That carries 6-0.
Okay, number 10, item scheduled for next agenda, which will be Wednesday, November 6th, the day after the election, 2024. We have good news on the docket. All right, and number 11, public comment. Thank you for all of you who are able to be with us in person and online tonight. We understand the importance of continuing to keep you all informed and provide an opportunity for you to be heard. Tonight's audience participation will be for all who wish to speak, whether it be in person or online. We will begin with those in person. If you would like to address the board, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. After all those in person have had the opportunity to speak, that opportunity will be given to those online. Please take into consideration common courtesy and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. We will provide and assist with timekeeping so that each speaker will be able to monitor their own time and know when to conclude, so all who wish to speak will have an equal opportunity to do so. If there are any questions at this meeting or by some other avenue, Superintendent Michael Wager or his designee will work on getting those answers in a timely manner. We will start with those in person. Are there any people in person? Yes, you have. You need to
Okay.
go to the mic, state your name and address.
All right.
My name is Kelly Chapman. My address is 8111 Pine Street. So I'm just going to finish the thought I had at the earlier meeting. Let me find it here. One thing that I do know a lot about is Randall Elementary. I understand the importance of the current utilization plan and the growing financial strain that our district is facing that needs to be solved, but I don't believe closing Randall is the right idea. Our school community is strong. Our families are passionate. Our volunteers are great, and we continue to make positive impacts on many students' lives. As far as utilization, I can tell you from my time within the building that these classrooms in our school are full and these teachers are maxed. What we do need more is support staff, improvements to our self-contained classrooms, and some basic building upgrades such as flooring, windows, fencing, even possibly air conditioning. I understand some of the schools will need to condense, but I don't believe Randall should be one of them, especially at this time and with the deadline for bond spending fast approaching. Not only during school hours, but after school makes a difference for our neighborhood kids too. There are no parks within walking distance in our neighborhood, and I see kids every day up on the basketball courts of Randall or playing on the equipment when they could be at home sitting on iPads or video games. I believe Randall is an example of a great elementary school that cares for its students and has a very devoted parent community. Splitting that up would be devastating to me and many others. Eventually, my children, my Taylor School District students, will move on to the high schools. Ultimately, that is where I would like to see the focus of this current bond money go. But I pray that Randall remains open until the other greater commitments can be met. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any online? There are none online. Okay. Mr. Wright?
All right, item number 12, adjournment to closed session, policy 0137.2 pursuant to Michigan's Open Meeting Act being Public Act 267 of 1976. And as amended, I move the board convene in closed session pursuant to 8C negotiations and 8H material exempt from disclosure by state and federal statute. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Heath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mr. Heath?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt?
Yes.
Mr. Wright, yes, Ms. Block.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. We will go into closed session at 8:34.
We are back from closed session at 10:30 PM. Action after closed session, Mr. Wright?
All right. Few actions. First action after closed session is number 1, student reinstatement, number 01-101620024. And that recommendation is for this student to stay in TVLA, but may attend face-to-face virtual TVLA to receive special education support, receive escort out of TVLA if needed to leave the room to go to the restroom, and have no activity or event privileges at all, with a care solace recommendation for him and his mom. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by,
Mr. Hughes. Yep.
okay, by Mr. Heath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas,
No.
Ms. Shufelt,
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes, Ms. Block,
Yes.
Mr. Heath.
Yes.
That carries 5-1. All right. Student reinstatement number, or action item number 2, student reinstatement number 02-101620024. Recommendation is for the student to be reinstated into TVLA virtual only with no on-site, on-campus permissions and no activities/event permissions at all. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Heath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mrs. Thomas,
No.
Ms. Shufelt,
Yes.
Mr. Wright's a yes, Ms. Block,
Yes.
Mr. Heath,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 5-1. Item number 2 or 3, workers' compensation, claimant A. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following requests for reserve increases in the amount of $25,000 to pay for lost wages and or medical bills for claimant A. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Heath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt,
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block,
Yes.
Mr. Heath,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Action item number 4, workers' compensation, claimant B. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the following requests for reserve increase in the amount of $18,711 to pay for lost wages and or medical bills for claimant B. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Heath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Ms. Shufelt,
Against my better judgment, yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block,
Yes.
Mr. Heath,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Right, action item number 5. Okay. Action item number 5 is the 26M TSSSA bargaining agreement. Motion, The motion is to approve the 26M TSSSA tentative agreement as agreed to by the parties on August 29th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Heath. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Shufel.
I have multiple family members in the 26M and therefore recuse myself from the vote as required by section 1203 of the revised school code.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Blau,
Yes.
Mr. Heath,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 5-0.
Okay, our next thing on the agenda is board member comments. Are there any comments? All right, I'd like to extend again my appreciation for everyone that had a hand in making homecoming come off without any incidents, but a lot of fun for everybody. And it's just a lot of weight off of our shoulders when we can do something like that and there's no incidences, and it's just, it feels good. It feels good. And also, I'm gonna out somebody on the board here. If you're not doing anything Friday night and you like trivia, Mr. Heath is going to have a trivia night at St. Constance Church, so you can come on out. I also found out he's a night every day.
That's true.
So seriously, it's $10. The Women of Faith and Service, they do support Holland and Meyer schools with their fundraisers. So if you do want to come out, Mr. Heath is running a trivia night for anybody that would like to come out to St. Constance on Friday night. Your $10 give you a piece of pizza and something to drink, and
What time?
I'm sure a good time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
6 o'clock. So up to tables of 4 and you get a whole pizza.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come.
All right.
Anybody else? Okay, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Motion by
Support.
Mrs. Shufel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morris. Mrs. Shufel.
Yes.
Mr. Wright.
Yes.
Ms. Black is a yes. Mr. Heath.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas is not here. Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
The Board of Education regular meeting for October 16th, 2024 adjourned at 10:37 PM.